Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. How are you? This is Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories, episode number 29. 29. I can't believe it, but I'm so glad you've joined us today. Just a couple of quick housekeeping issues before we get started. If for some reason the internet doesn't let us be great, we will be back. So we are here 7:30 to 8 p.m. every Tuesday Central Standard Time with Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories. And if you have a story or know someone who does, and we know you do, please make sure you get in contact with me. I am booking guests for 2021, and I'd love to have you on the show. Next week, we will be celebrating right here on Instagram Live on Just Like You, Everyday People, Amazing Stories, my birthday. Yay! So next episode will be the last episode of 2020, and I want you here. I want you on Instagram Live next Tuesday, December 8th, will be my birthday episode. So I see my guest is coming in here. Let's see you. Hope I did that right. So next Tuesday, here, come camera ready, because I'm going to invite you all in. Justice, how are you?
Hi.
How are you? I was just
I'm
telling
well.
everyone, housekeeping issue, if the internet doesn't let us be great, we're coming back. I know sometimes crazy stuff
Okay.
happens, so we'll be here
I as
7:30
well.
to 8 p.m. And next week, you have to come back because it's my birthday episode. So I'm inviting everyone back to come into my little
I
IG
will
Live.
absolutely be back.
What'd you say? Oh, I can't hear
I
you,
said,
hon.
of course, I will absolutely be back. Oh, can you hear me
Yes.
now?
I can hear you, but it's kind of light. Let me see if it's
Oh,
mine.
no.
It could say it again.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it was me. Yeah.
Okay.
So yes, next week it will be the last episode actually of 2020. So I'm taking a little self-care break, but it will be my birthday episode. So I want everybody back, and I'm just gonna hit join in, and everybody join in for my birthday. So meet me back here next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. So we are gonna go ahead and get started because this goes by so fast, Justice.
Okay.
I say just thank you so much for your willingness to come on and share your story.
Thank
You know,
you so much for having me.
I meant it when I said beautiful inside and out, because through fitness, right?
Yes.
But I keep up with you through IG, and Amy, our mutual friend, introduced
Yep.
us. So I just want to say thank you for for coming on and sharing your story. And I don't want to, I know that you're up to a lot of amazing things. So I don't want to give it all away, but let's just spend the first few minutes, the first 10 minutes I have.
Yeah.
Give us a little bit about Justice and your story.
There's a lot. I was honestly just sitting here thinking not too long ago, I was going back and forth with my mom. I go, Mom, there's a lot that's happened in my life that's kind of put me where I'm at now. Where do I even begin? What do I start with? What do I leave out? So I guess we can start at the beginning. So I'm originally from Denver. That's where I grew up. I've spent my entire childhood in Denver, Colorado. Beautiful place, love it. But essentially, growing up as a kid, my parents didn't necessarily have the best relationship, and I've seen a lot of traumatic things, honestly. And as an adult now, I still do carry some of that with me. But despite all of the things that I did see growing up with my parents, like my parents absolutely always put me first. They made sure that they supported me in whatever dreams or aspirations that I've had. And so kind of just starting with where I even began to have this love for the entertainment industry, it comes from my mom. My mom's a singer. She loves to sing. My grandfather on my dad are on my mom's side, plays like every instrument possible. And so for me, I've got a huge passion for music. I've always had a passion for theater, acting, and I remember as a kid, and it's so funny, because my mom and I were just talking about it today. She goes, "Just, you remember sitting in some of the castings that we've been to when you were like 2?" And I'm like, "Of course not two, but everything else after that, yes. So I grew up just always wanting to kind of be in the spotlight, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
I've had a huge joy for acting and singing, and some of my earliest castings that I can remember. I did an Oscar Mayer Wiener commercial as a kid. I've also been with an agency as assigned talent as a teenager, or sorry, as like a young adolescent. And it didn't necessarily go the way that I thought it would or take off the way that I had hoped for. And so I started to shift my focus then at that point to athletics.
Mm.
And so throughout my entire life, you know, my parents have always encouraged me to try everything. And with that said, I've played like 7 different sports. And for me, I fell in love the most with gymnastics and
Oh.
volleyball, actually.
Mhm.
And I've played everything though from t-ball, baseball, karate, pretty much everything but soccer because I don't like running. And I
That's funny.
And fun fact, I did run track. I was so good that my parents were like, oh, this can be her sport. She can stick with this. Once I realized that was the case, I was like, oh, I have to start losing now.
Like, no, 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 no.
So I lost on purpose.
Bad idea.
Yeah, I was like, oh, no, no, no. This one is not the one. Even if
Right.
I'm okay at it, it's not the one for me.
That's funny. Track two.
Um, so moving past just kind of like childhood trauma. My parents did end up getting divorced when I was in high school. And shortly after, I got some really surprising news about my little brother, sister, and another little brother, all within about 3 years of each other.
Mhm.
Or, yeah, they're all one right after the other. And at the time that that happened, I think that I was around 14 or 15. And so I wasn't super receptive at that moment. And I
Mhm.
didn't realize what I was gaining. And since then, though, like I've got an amazing relationship. Hi, mom. My mom just joined on. um, since then, though, like I've got an amazing relationship with all of my siblings, and you know, I've worked on my relationship with my parents even through those times as well, and we've got like an amazing, tremendous relationship with me as an adult now. So,
Nice.
um, after high school, I went to college at Northwood University, where I had a volleyball scholarship. So I still got to play sports. I focused on entertainment, sport, and promotional management because for me, again, sports, entertainment, everything that I've always loved. And I ended up working in sales for the Florida Panthers.
Oh, nice.
And I love the entertainment industry. I love the sport industry. I loved everything about being there except sales.
Ah, no, I love sales.
And
I love sales, so I love sales.
yeah, well, it's a grind.
It
And I'm
is.
not sure that it was the grind that I was like expecting or hoping for. I loved like the glitz and glamour of being at games, being at concerts, working
Mhm.
the relationships with my clients. Um, and so for me, within my first year with the Panthers, you know, I went in guns a blazing, like, all right, I'm here. This is going to be my career. What can I do to like really just take off?
Mhm.
And so I will never forget this. And my old boss will never let me live this down. But I remember when I was first hired with the Panthers, I they had hired me just as kind of like a sales. I wasn't an account executive yet, but I was like the tier right under that.
Mhm.
Um, it was the initial position that they hired me for, and then I get a call that says, "Hey, we noticed that you're local. Do you want to just pop in to like stop by?" And I was like, "Oh, sure, of course. Like, would love to come meet my new bosses." So as I am driving, I realized that I left my heels at home and I'm wearing flip-flops.
Oh no.
I will never forget this. And I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure that I was wearing like a blue top and like a black pencil skirt and brown flip-flops. So I where the BB&T Center is located is actually across from the Sawgrass Mills Mall. And so I was like, ooh, do I have time to go like shoe shopping? There's a Target right there, or like there's all these other outlets.
Hmm.
And I was like, oh no, I don't have time to do this. And I'm really embarrassed because I'm about to meet my bosses that I've never met before in this new industry I've never been in. And I remember shaking my boss's hand and saying, I'm really sorry I'm wearing flip-flops. And I was promoted literally 2 hours after that.
That's so funny. But just so you know, it happens to the best of us. When I moved here, I was on a contract in my sales job. The very first day I was on the contract, I got a speeding ticket on my way to meet
Oh
my
my
boss.
gosh.
So then I got another boss after that. They transferred me off the contract to another boss. The first day I met him, I was in the company car, someone sideswiped it.
Oh no.
I was driving it and I had met my new boss. I met him and we came out and someone had hit the car.
Oh my
And
gosh.
the
That's
note,
crazy.
and it was my first day with my new boss.
Oh my gosh. Well, see, it all works out.
Yeah, I was
Everything works out.
after but it wasn't, we were nowhere near it. Like we were in a parking lot. Like it was
Oh, well,
parked.
that's good. That like nobody was injured. Thank
Right.
God. Oh
Right.
no,
But
what
it happens to
happened?
all of us. There you are.
Um, there I am. So within like that first couple of weeks, I was really looking for a way to make myself stand out, and I was promoted to group ticket sales. So my job, I always like to say, was an event with tickets attached to it. And I had this crazy idea. Um, on My brain got to thinking, I go, how do I get more women involved in hockey?
Mhm.
And I automatically went pageant. So I had done my research about some of the local pageants in South Florida, and one name just kept popping up over and over and over again. And her name is Lulu. She ended up being one of my mentors for a while. Beautiful woman, super wonderful. But her name just kept popping up everywhere. And I go, okay, well, I need to get in contact with this woman named Lulu. And Lulu and I worked together to create the Miss Florida Ice pageant, and that's what kind of opened the door to me competing in pageants.
Okay.
She used to invite me to different pageants, and I think that that was kind of her way to be like, I think you can do this. This is something you can do. And honestly, after seeing the first two pageants, I was like, I want to do that.
You're like, no, not for me.
Initially, yes. And the only other time that I had even thought about a pageant, I was maybe 13,
Mhm.
and I had gotten something in the mail that was about just a local pageant in Denver. And I was like, Dad, look, a pageant. And he goes, well, I'm either going to pay for a pageant or pay for a father-daughter trip to Mexico. I went with Mexico.
Yeah. Like, no. You're like, hold up.
No, I'm good there. We'll just take the Mexico trip instead. Um, and so going back to pageants, Miss Palm Beach USA is the only pageant that I was the first pageant I've ever competed in, and I won it right off the bat. Um, there were some really great people that I interviewed with. I was honestly really nervous because I'd never done anything like that before. That day, I also very vividly remember my hair. The curls would not drop the way I wanted to, and I'm in the bathroom trying to figure this out. And one of the girls who had competed in other pageants was just there to watch in the bathroom and helped me out. And that was one of the first experiences that I've had with women in a competitive setting being genuine and nice.
Mhm.
And for me, that solidified that I was in the right place. I was going to meet some amazing people. And while I didn't place at Miss Florida USA, like I walked away with so many friendships that I still have today.
Yeah. So let me ask you real quick. So I know we're gonna ask you in a second what the future holds, but you've
Yes,
had so much. I mean, you
there's a lot.
you've transitioned beautifully, right?
Thank
You've
you.
um you have, somebody told me the other day in one of my interviews, they said they pivoted, you know,
I like
so
that.
they called it, just a good pivot. So you've
Yeah.
pivoted a lot. So what has kept you like super positive about this whole thing? Because there seems like some times where, it was, here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not as smooth. So what kept you so like positive and willing to pivot? Some people aren't even willing to pivot.
I agree. And personally speaking, I've had moments where I've struggled pivoting, honestly,
Mm-hmm.
and I've had some really low and tough times. I think what has kept me so positive, honestly, is my faith and also my friends and my family.
Okay.
So I can't say that I'm the most religious person, but
Mm-hmm.
I grew up in the church. I grew up in the church choir. I consistently was in church as a teenager, and I even found different church homes when I lived in Florida and then also when I moved to New York as well. And then I've also got a wonderful family, and the friends that I have are also, they keep me anchored
Mm-hmm.
because I'm a wild horse. I like to roam, but I've got an amazing support system that keeps me anchored and very well balanced and grounded.
So with how do I say this? So you're young.
Yes.
And so I want to ask you, for all the people listening that are gonna listen, because we're gonna post this. By the way, we're gonna post this on IGTV, on Instagram. We're gonna post it
Okay.
on Facebook. We're gonna post it on all these things. So people
Everywhere.
listen to this today at this 30 minutes, but then most of the people are gonna listen to it later.
Right.
And there's gonna be a young person listening to this saying, you know, what advice would you have for them? Like, just, as one young adult to another young adult, what advice would you have for them? You have a great family and you said your faith, but let's say someone,
Not everybody has that.
not everybody has that. So what advice would you have from that other young adult, to maintain,
Um,
their positivity?
Honestly, therapy. I've
Girl, say
I
it again.
just started
Say
therapy
it again.
not too long ago.
Say it again.
Therapy, and I by no means, how do I put this? There's nothing to be ashamed about when it comes to therapy, because at the end of the day, and what I'm learning is everybody has trauma of some sort.
Yes.
It's not all the same, but everybody is carrying some sort of trauma with them. And I've honestly just really been finding talking to someone to be extremely helpful, especially I am 27. I'm still learning about myself. I'm still growing. I know
Mm-hmm.
that there's a lot that I don't know, and but I also know who I want to be and the person that I can be. And therapy has honestly kind of helped open that door and help me hone in on, okay, this is who I am and this is how I can be a better person and stay positive.
That is like such a wise thing, but it's so good to hear someone say that, because
Yeah,
people get so worried about it.
they do.
Like, I'm a huge proponent of it. And like I said, I mean, for me, I can say it, but people think, oh, Taryn, you're old, what do you know, blah, blah, blah. But I just, it's good to hear someone,
From a younger perspective,
younger adults,
therapy through and through.
that's okay. And you know what? You got to that way before some of us. That lesson, that is so important and so wise of you,
Thank you.
to take care of your health. Not just, obviously we see you taking care of your health from the outside, but now it's almost like that inside health just rules, right?
Yes.
And you can't take care of your outside if you don't take care of your inside.
I
So
completely agree.
yeah. So
Especially as a
so,
personal trainer, I believe
mhm.
in like whole health.
Yeah, I just think it's so wise. I mean, I people ask me all the time, like, what do you do? And I'm thinking, I'm a huge proponent of it. I have I mean, I take my car to get checked out. Why wouldn't I take my mind?
Yep, I completely agree. What got you started with your therapy journey?
So mine was, I was in LA. So, I lived in LA for a long time. And
Right.
I kind of had this story about a lot of things just being on my shoulders as a young adult. Similar,
Okay.
you know, similar situation. I just always, I'm kind of the older sibling. I have a lot of things on my shoulders. I was the one
Yep.
who flew the coop, early. And I always used to think everything was on my shoulders. So I remember my first therapy session. I said, first of all, when someone told me, so like, Taryn, go to therapy, I was like, go to therapy? Like, I don't know what you're talking about.
Like, there's nothing wrong with me.
My friend Raven, I'll never forget it. She said, just go to therapy. I said, okay, I'm gonna go. I don't need to go, but I'm gonna go. The gentleman said, Taryn, what are we here for today? Justice, I cried the whole hour. It was
Oh, Taryn.
I cried the whole session. I don't even
Yeah.
know what words I came out. I just, and then he's like, okay, so obviously we got to do this again because we didn't really get far. I just cried.
Oh.
And that was in my 20s as well.
Yeah.
And I've stayed a proponent ever since. So
Good.
I think that is a very wise move. Let me see what time it is. Oh my goodness.
7:50. I told you I feel like my story. There's a lot.
Because we're having people back in 2021. So we're going to have a 2021, because everybody feels like that. I never know, like I could have made it an hour, but then I'm like, I don't want to take up people's time.
Too much time. I get that.
So tell me a little bit about what the future holds for you, beautiful. Tell us a little bit.
Okay. Well, hopefully, so currently, you know that I'm a personal trainer, and like many of us, the pandemic has forced my hand a little bit in a good way, but has forced my hand to just be a little bit more creative in terms of being virtually accessible and then also like reasonably priced as well. So building my online training business is definitely something that is in my future. I went to business school. I would hate for my degree to go to waste. So that is something that is definitely on the horizons for me. And recently, I submitted myself for Sports Illustrated Swimsuit. They've been doing these castings for the past 3 years, and this year something was just kind of in my heart to be like, do it.
Mm-hmm.
Just do it, because I have sat and watched. So some of the girls that I competed with in pageants had done it before, and I would always watch and be like, that's so cool. I love that. I wish I would be ballsy enough to do that. And so this year, something just was like, do it.
Yeah.
So I submitted for Sports Illustrated Swimsuit during their video submissions, and hopefully next year I will be in the pages of Sports Illustrated, also running a kick-ass personal training business.
What do people have to do? Is there something like when people listen to this, do they go vote, or what do people have to do?
It has been an extremely long process, but it's honestly just helped me kind of fine tune who I am and discover those things a little bit more as well. I can send a link, but essentially it's just as long as I keep posting, I just gotta hope and pray that MJ Sports Illustrated, that you guys see me.
Nice.
That's it.
It's so exciting, that's exciting, and keep it up, just keep all those great things that you want to do. I'm going to, after this, I'm going to call you, because I call everybody, I'm going to post all this. Like I said,
okay.
It's going to take Taryn time to figure out how to post it all. But I'm going to post all this, and, people are going to see it and listen. And I just think it's just so, inspiring. I said, keep up all the things that you want to do,
Yeah. And that's my advice, honestly, to anybody. If there's something that you are passionate about or that you feel just tugging at your heart, do it.
Yeah.
Just do it, period.
Because there's lots of other things that, there's a million things that could be scary about it. Like you said, about the SI swimsuit thing. It's like, that is,
it's scary.
but it's also like what could be scary is you not doing it and wish you would.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely. And it's the same thing with just diving into my business as well. I'm still figuring out how to run my own business, and I'm still figuring out how to be a better coach, honestly, as well. But the only thing that would stop me from doing those things is myself.
Right. And that's what it is a lot of times. I think it's a lot of times we stop ourselves, or we worry. Someone, the girl in the last show said something, and I thought it was really poignant. She said, because we worry about what people think about us. Right?
Yes, always. Perception.
What people think of you is none of your business.
Ooh, I like that.
And
Yeah.
because she's like, people are going to think something of you regardless of what you do.
Period. Oh, I get that 100%.
Like they said,
People will always formulate their own opinion and not even know you.
yeah. So it's like they're going to think something. So it's like, no matter what, just do what works in your heart, what you feel like is the right thing to do. And,
Yeah,
go for those dreams because, who else is going to pursue them for you, right?
agreed. And it's actually something that I've also heard growing up is if they talked about Jesus, they will talk about you.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that one too. Yeah,
Yes.
that point. So anything else you want to share with us? We got 5 more minutes. Anything else you want to share with us?
Honestly, like, just thank you so much for having me on your platform this evening. I really wasn't expecting it when you first reached out to me because, I do feel that a lot of times we don't give ourselves enough credit. So even an opportunity like this, it's like, do I feel like I deserve
Girl, yeah.
this?
I just think
But
this is about positivity, and you got it.
yes, thank you. I do my best. I'm not always, everybody has bad days, but I think that it says a lot about you when you can try to push through those bad days and still like give off your positive energy to other people, even if there are days that you don't feel that necessarily about yourself.
Yeah, well, not having a bad day doesn't mean that you're not positive and you don't have a story.
True. Okay. You're right.
Like we all have bad days, but that doesn't mean that you're not positive or you don't have a story. And that's what
Yeah.
this is about. It's about someone else that's going to listen to this and be, uh, maybe they're a trainer, maybe they're not a trainer, maybe they want to
Yeah.
be in the entertainment industry, maybe they don't want to be in the entertainment industry, maybe they're just a young adult trying to figure out what the heck is going on. You
Yeah.
know, I'm telling you, I promise you with everything in me, someone's going to tell me something about this episode from you.
Oh.
It happens where someone's like, that girl, and they may not be like, DMing you and
Oh
saying,
yeah.
but they're going to be like, that girl that I was talking about, she was a trainer and she was doing the modeling thing. I really liked her story. Like, that's just because after this, like I said, it's going to go just for everybody to repeat. It's going to go on my YouTube. It's going to go on Instagram. I'm going to tag Justice on it for her Instagram and whatever she wants to do with it. And so people are going to be hearing your story and can relate. And that's
Yeah.
what this is about. I tell people I just want to keep this circulation. If you have a story of no
Yeah.
one he does, and we all do, I want you to be on the show and just share it because we've had, you know, just it's just been amazing and overwhelming. But I think
Yeah.
everyone has a story and everyone can learn from everyone else's story. And it's
I
always
agree.
a story.
Oh, my mom says you rock.
Oh, you rock. You rock. You rock. So I just really, I just thank you for, taking the time out today. I'm going to call you in a second. So don't, if
Okay.
I call you right off, it's because Lord knows I'm trying to figure out how to get it on Instagram without.
I can help you.
So I feel like as soon as I hit end, I am on pen. I need to like post it right away and do all sorts of stuff before it goes into, I don't know, land. So
Okay.
I haven't that out yet. I need to, I think it's so funny because I think to myself, like I need to hire my 8-year-old niece to be my social media.
Probably. I know
Better at it.
the kids these days are way more tech savvy than I am. Today, even, I was actually on a hoverboard with my brother and sister and took a major fall. But it was like, oh, why did it stop? Oh,
Uh-oh. Yeah.
okay.
Somebody, yeah, I think it was my niece that asked me for, I don't even know what a hoverboard is. She got a scooter one year. Is that
like what? Yeah.
Is it a scooter thing?
So pretty much it's like an electronic little scooter that you just step on and it goes forward. And if you are not ready for it, you will fall like this one did today.
Oh, so it's electronic. You don't
Yes.
pedal it or
Yep.
whatever.
You don't have to do anything but step on it and either like lean forward or lean back a little bit.
Yeah, she asked for one. I was like, what the heck is that? I didn't even know what it was. My husband and I were like, hoverboard. I might know what it is, but I had no idea.
Oh.
All right. Well, thank you so so much. I love you. I'm going
Thank
to talk
you for having me, Taryn. I'll talk to you soon. Mwah.
for joining us. Love you. And
Love
thank
you
you guys
too.
for joining us. And we'll be back next week for my birthday. Make sure you come back here Tuesday, 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And by the way, Denver is actually one of my favorite places. It's like
I'm in Dallas right now.
oh,
I was going to be in Denver, I think, initially for Thanksgiving, but I'm in Dallas now visiting mom.
I love Dallas too, but Denver is it's like a secret hideout for me. Like, I go there and chill and, then fly back and reappear. So I like
There
it.
you go.
Alrighty. Love you. Talk to you in a sec.
Bye.
Bye-bye.